find a winning focus, mate?
How do we find a winning focus? It's a pretty tough question at the moment. It's something we'll have to look at this week, review the game pretty heavily. I think one thing we can do straight away is fix up our starts. If we can do that, that'll really put us in the game and we won't be playing catch-up footy, and that'll go a long way to win games, I reckon.
Did you sense any complacency out there? Because it was a set 7-goal streak. Did you sort of think that there was a bit of, we'll get back?
No, there wasn't complacency going in the game. All week going into the game, we really talked about how much Melbourne improved and how good of a side they were becoming, and their defensive game, how good it was. So I don't think the boys were complacent, but I think after they kicked the first 2 or 3, we went a bit shell-shocked, and a couple of our younger guys probably turned the ball over, and that hurt us a bit. So that's probably why we conceded 6 or 7 in a row.
Is it more mental than some of those younger blokes?
Yeah, I think it might have been. I think a few guys went into their shells, and that might have hurt us a bit early on in the game. Yeah.
Is that a common thread through the starts you've had, do you think?
Nah, look, I think the first 3 games we played really good sides, so I think we were just that's probably why we were beaten at the start. I think each week it's a different scenario, so it's not one common theme. I think we've actually been starting games all right. It's just, probably from that 5-minute period onwards to the start of the first quarter that we're actually getting done. So it's not the actual first 5 minutes of the game, it's probably the next 20 minutes after that.
Is it more, do you think, a group thing, like you need to change your routines or something once you get to the ground, or is it something with preparation as individuals?
Yeah, no, look, we always look to improve and tinker things like the warm-up and the preparation of the game, and I think we've done that over the first 7 rounds, so we have been working behind the scenes to try and change a few things, but I don't think it's anything in particular. I think it's just a mindset that when you go out there, you've got to be ready to play against anyone, and on the weekend we probably mentally weren't ready, and then we conceded a few, and a few boys went into their shell, so that was probably the reason why we were down that first quarter.
I know you're looking too far ahead, but have you thought about how costly that loss may be?
Look, yeah, we knew it was a game that we probably let slip. We were never really in the game when you think about it. If we'd won it, it would have been a get-out-of-jail card kind of thing. So it's definitely a disappointing week for the club. But look, in the AFL system these days, every team's so good, they're stacked with talent that anyone can beat anyone. So we've got to put that game behind us and really focus on the next 10 days, doing that really well, and preparing for Collingwood, who are really up and about. So it's going to be a massive challenge for a young group.
So are you preparing for Claude? Sorry.
Oh, you're right.
Are you preparing yourself to take Travis?
Yeah, look, I probably will get Trav. I've played on him the last couple of times we've played him, and I've been watching a few of his games, and he's starting to find really good form. He's always a great competitor, and I think the first few weeks he just wasn't quite clunking those marks, but he's really starting to do that now. So, yeah, it's going to be a massive job for myself or Benny Rutten or Kyle, whoever gets him. So, we'll start looking at that. So.
And how imposing is he as a key forward, like just the size of him and strength and that?
Pardon, sorry, I
How
didn't.
imposing is he as a forward?
Yeah.
To the average, if you like, key forward that you come up against?
Yeah, look, he's obviously one of the great forwards of the last kind of 5-10 years of the game. He's so big, or he's 110 kilos or whatever he is, so he's got that size, but then he's really fit and can move well as well. So he's definitely a pretty hard matchup for any key defender. So yeah, look, we'll myself and Benny will work out a way to try and stop his influence. And then they've got Jesse White down there as well, who's been in great form as well. So it's not just him, it's Jesse as well. So stopping those 2 guys is going to be a real critical factor in that game.
More than most, do you think Cloak's a confidence player who, if you shut him out, say first quarter or so, he might drop his head?
No, I don't think so. I think he's one of those players that's always competing. It's not really a confidence thing. I think the last couple of times I've played on him, I've started well, and then he's got me towards the end of the game. So look, it's not a confidence thing with him. You're going to have to play a really good 4 quarters to stop him from having an influence on the game.
Is that game? I mean, obviously it's the start of what you hope is a run towards getting into the top 8. Is it a real statement game? Is something more to be said about the club?
Yeah, look, I'm not sure if it's a real statement game, but it's a massive game for the club. Obviously, at 3 and 4, you don't want to go to 3 and 5 and be 2 behind the count. So, it's going to be a massive game for the club, and we're going to have to do everything right to prepare ourselves to start well. That's the first thing we're going to be focusing on. focusing on starting well against Collingwood and then taking it from there. We can't look too far past that, and if we start well, then we're in the game and anything can happen.
Have you been told to go away? I mean, obviously you get some time off. Do you get told to go away and think about a few things, or is the instruction to just clear your head and we'll think about it when we come back?
Yeah, look, I think every player during the bye would be, I suppose, reviewing the first 7 rounds of their season and looking for ways to improve. So I know we have been told to do that, and each player will probably sit down with their line coach and have a meeting with Sando and just, I suppose, go through the game plan, go through their role and really be clear after the bye to come back and know what they've got to do individually and then try and execute that for the rest of the year. So that's something the guys will definitely do, yeah.
Are you ready for a break yet, or would you prefer it to be a little bit later in the year?
No, look, I think it's come at a good time. I think we do get another one in round 15 or whatever. There's 2 buys this year, so the timing's great. Especially after the loss we've just had is really disappointing. So I think a couple of days off for the guys will really freshen us up. We can go home and really, I suppose, refocus on what we've got to do and get ready for a tough week ahead.
Just at 3-4, it's not exactly where you'd like to be, obviously, going into the break. Does it, you're still as confident as you were at the start of the year about what you can get out of the season, given that?
Yeah, definitely. I think momentum in footy is a massive thing, and that can swing at any point. So, if we work hard the next 10 days, come back and play well against Collingwood, all of a sudden you win that game and you're 4-4 and anything can happen. So, yeah, look, we're really excited about what we can do this season. Just because we're 3-4, we're not giving up on the season. So we're going to try and win the next game and then we'll just take it from there.